Hello loves, today we're going to be doing long division. Division is a beast that we have to address. I think it's very simple as long as you just remember the rules. I try not to think about the rules. If you do it enough times, it'll just flow out of you. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to take 3,567, and I want to divide it by 4. What that means is that I have this humongous number and I need to split it up into 4 equal groups. And I want to know how many is going to go in each group. So in order to figure that out, I can do a method called long division. The first step is to take your dividend, which is 3,567, and this is one of the symbols for divide, and divide it by 4, which is the divisor, because I am asking myself how many groups of 4 can go into each number. I want to pull out one group of 4 because I want one to go in each group. So I say to myself, how many times can 4 go into 3? And the answer is 0, because if you have 3, can you take away 4? Or if I had 4 children and I only had 3 cookies, can each child get a cookie? That answer would be no. So the answer is 0. 4 goes into 3 0 times. 4 times 0 is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3. Now I bring down the 5. I ask myself, 4 goes into 35 how many times? You have to think about it. How many groups of 4 can you take out of 35? And this is where knowing your multiplication facts can come in handy, because you can say, wait a minute, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12, and you can keep going until you get to 35. But you're going to notice that there is no number that you can multiply by 4 to get to 35. But you can get close to it. You can get very close to it. And if you don't know your multiplication facts, of course you can use your handy dandy sidebar, and you say to yourself, man, I'm trying to get to 35, but I can't go over 35. And when you look at your sidebar, you're going to see that, hey, 36 is too large, but 32 is as close as I can get. And so you say, man, 4 times 8 is 32. So when the question comes as how many times can 4 go into 35, the answer is 8. Because 8 times 4 is 32. 35 take away 32 is 3. And you stop. You say, hey, is this answer lower than my divisor? And if you answer yes, then you just keep on moving on. So we're going to go ahead and do 6, bring down that 6, and ask yourself, how many times can 4 go into 36? Well, let's see. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. It's just right. So we're going to use 9. But if you didn't know that, you can go on your sidebar and look. You see 36 right there? So you know that 4 goes into 36 9 times. Put the 9. 4 times 9 is equal to 36. Subtract. I'm going to bring down the 7. Okay, so 4 goes into 7 how many times? let's think. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. No, 8 is too big. So we can't use 4 times 2. We have to use 4 times 1. Now, if you couldn't figure that out because you struggle with your multiplication facts, you have to remember that you're trying to get to 7, but you can't go over. So you will go to your sidebar and you will realize that, hey, 8 is too big, so I have to use the 4. And that's 4 times 1. So 4 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. All right, you guys, you see how I'm running out of room here? And 7 take away 4 is 3. Oh, that 3 is so tiny. I hope you guys can see it. And is 3 lower than our divisor? Yes. So that means that this is our remainder because we have nothing else to bring it down. And we write our answer like this: 891 remainder 3. And so what that means is that 4 goes into 3,567 891 times with the remainder of 3. Go ahead and grab some dice or even some numbers in your head and come up with your very own division problems and try this out. And remember, it's difficult at first, but with practice, it becomes easier every single time. All right, way number 2 to solve our division problems is the T-chart method. The T-chart method is, to me, the easiest method to do if you don't know your multiplication facts. Okay, so what we're going to use the exact same numbers that we used before, the exact same division problem. So we're still going to be working with 9 divided by 379. Okay, but this time on the side, we're going to go ahead and do our T-chart. Now, the T-chart just kind of like tells you, okay, I'm going to do my 9 timetables. I like to go ahead and count all the way down to 9. I don't never do 10 because I know that any number times 10 is just that number and you add a 0 at the end. Now, what I noticed is that some of us have a hard time counting by 9s, even on your fingers. Okay, there's a trick to that, and maybe I'll make a video about that if you want me to. But for right now, we're just going to do the dot method. So you have 9, and next to it, you can put 9 dots. Okay, and so if you get confused counting on your fingers, you can just count the dots and you'll be okay. So we start off with 9 because any number times 1 is itself. So 9 times 1 is equal to 9. And you can count the dots to get the next number. So you say 9, and then you go 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then you say 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And then you say 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45, 46, 47, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 61, 2, 3, 64, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 71, 2, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81. Okay, so I went all the way down to 81. Even though you couldn't see it, trust me, I did it, okay? So now I'm just like, let me start doing this long division because it's a long way to go here. So I'm like, can 9 go into 3? First of all, I know the answer is no because 9 is too big. Okay, if I have 3 fingers, can you take 9 out of this 3? That's right, the answer is no, and that's why it's a 0 right there. Because if you was to have 3 dots, you can't take 9 out of a group of 3. Like, hold up 3 fingers right now and say to yourself, let me put down 9 fingers. You can't do that. You can only put down 3. Okay, so 9 cannot go into 3 because 9 is larger than 3. Look at your T-chart right here. It starts with 9. In order for the answer to be 1, you have to at least have 9. So 3 doesn't even fit on this chart, and that's why the answer is 0. Okay? Now, a lot of people just skip that step. But let's just say you don't know how to skip it. It's okay. You take the 0 and you multiply it by 9. 0 times 9 is 0. And then you subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. Be very careful when you're subtracting because as I look at students sometimes, I notice that they mess up right here in the subtraction part. You bring down your next digit, which is that 7. Okay, so you're like, man, how many times can 9 go into 37? Oh, shucks, I don't know my multiplication facts. Well, that's why you have your T-chart. You come over here and you're like, where is this 37? And you're like, I don't see a 37. So you have to say, man, where does this 37 go? Well, it will go in between these two numbers right here. Okay? But you can't use the number after it. And the reason you can't use the number after it is because the 45 is too big. You have to use the number before it. Okay, so I like to draw this line right here. And then I use that to draw my circle. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to use 9 times 4 because that equals 36. So when they ask me how many times can 9 go into 36, I'm like, well, how many times 9 can go into 37? I'm like, 4. It goes in there 4 times because 9 times 4 is 36. And so then you have to subtract. Take it one step at a time. 7 minus 6. If you have 7 fingers and you take away 6, you're only left with that 1. Okay? So if you have 6 and you take it away from 7, you're left with 1. And 3 minus 3, it cancels out because it's 0. Now you bring down a 9. So now you got to find 19. And you're like, oh man, I don't see 19. So what number is closest to 19 without going over? If you said 18, you are absolutely correct. So we're going to use 9 times 2 because it equals 18. Okay, so we're going to put this 2 on the top. And then we're going to say 2 times 9. Well, 2 times 9 is 18. No kidding. Subtract again. 8 from 9 is 1. And this cancels out. I have nothing left to bring down. My answer is 42, remainder 1. Easy cheesy.